All right. Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. This time, we're tackling something that I think a lot of folks are curious about, and that's zero-spend lead generation. Getting those leads without actually shelling out any marketing dollars.
Sounds pretty good when you put it like that.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Our listeners are smart. They know there's always more to the story than just free. So we're not just going to scratch the surface here. We're going to go deep.
Love that. Let's dive in.
Exactly. We want to understand how to really measure the effectiveness of zero-spend lead generation. And that's especially tricky, right? Because the usual way of looking at return on investment, well, that gets a bit fuzzy when your investment is technically zero.
Yeah, you're hitting on a key point right there. We have to shift our thinking about value when we're talking zero spend. It's not just about dollars and cents.
So where do we even begin? What are the right things to be looking at?
Well, you've gathered some really interesting sources for this deep dive, and they highlight a few key metrics. Things like lead generation rate, cost per lead or CPL, conversion rate, and even customer lifetime value.
Hold on. Let's back up for a sec. I know we have a lot of seasoned entrepreneurs and marketers tuning in, but for those who might be newer to this whole world, could you break down what CPL means?
Of course. So CPL, like I said, stands for cost per lead. It basically tells you, on average, how much you're spending to acquire one single lead. And naturally, when we're talking zero spend strategies, your CPL is, well, it's zero, free.
Okay, free leads. That has a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
It definitely does. But, one of the sources put it perfectly. It's not just about reeling in any fish. It's about catching the right fish.
I like that analogy.
Yeah, it's about quality over quantity. Just because you're getting tons of leads doesn't mean they're all going to turn into paying customers. And at the end of the day, that's what we really care about, right?
Absolutely. So how do we measure that quality then? How do we know if those free leads are actually worth our time?
Conversion rate. That's the magic word. It tells us what percentage of those leads actually become paying customers. It's a simple calculation, really. Let's say you get 10 leads and 2 of them become customers.
Okay, I'm following.
Now, another scenario. Imagine you pull in 100 leads and 50 of them convert into customers. At first glance, 50 new customers sound pretty darn good, right?
Be better than 2.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling you're about to tell me why that might not be the whole story.
You're catching on quick. It's all about that conversion rate. In the first scenario, 2 customers out of 10 leads. That's a 20% conversion rate. In the second scenario, it's 50 out of 100, so only a 5% conversion rate. So while you get more customers in that second scenario, the first one actually has a much higher quality of leads. More of those initial leads turned into actual paying customers.
Makes sense. So we're seeing that a low cost per lead doesn't automatically equal success. Got to factor in those conversion rates, too. And didn't you mention something earlier about customer lifetime value? What's that all about?
Right. Customer lifetime value, or CLTV. This is especially important when we're talking zero spend. It basically helps us look beyond just that initial conversion. We're thinking long-term here. How much revenue will a customer generate for your business over their entire relationship with you?
Gotcha. So it's not just about making that first sale. It's about nurturing those relationships and encouraging repeat business.
Exactly. And here's where it gets really interesting. If you've got a high CLTV and you're acquiring those customers with zero spend,
then your profits can really start to snowball over time.
Exactly. It's like a gift that keeps on giving. And, even though we're talking zero spend strategies, you're still investing something.
Your time, your effort, your energy, all valuable resources.
Absolutely. And that's why understanding CLTV is so crucial. It helps you assess if those investments are truly paying off in the long run. And the best part is there are different ways to calculate CLTV depending on how deep you want to go.
Okay, so tell me more about that. How do we actually go about figuring out the CLTV?
Well, you can keep it simple. Calculate an average customer lifetime value based on your past data. But some of the sources get even more sophisticated. They talk about factoring in things like repeat purchase rate and average order value. And then there are even predictive models using, all sorts of fancy algorithms.
Sounds complicated.
It can be. But the good news is there are resources out there to help you choose the method that's right for your business. It all depends on how complex you want to get and the data you have available.
Got it. So just to sum up here, we're not just trying to attract leads for free. We want leads with high conversion potential and high CLTV.
You got it. It's a trifecta.
Sounds like a tall order. Are there any specific zero-spend strategies that can really hit all three of those targets?
Absolutely. One classic example that comes up in the sources is building an online community around your product or service.
Community building.
Mm.
That makes sense. When people
Yep.
feel connected to a brand, they're more likely to become loyal customers.
Right. And loyal customers often mean repeat business, which naturally drives up both your conversion rates and your CLTV. It's a win-win. But you have to do it right. It's not just about throwing up a Facebook group and hoping for the best. You need to nurture that community, engage with your audience, and provide real value.
But isn't that kind of time-consuming? Doesn't that sort of contradict the whole zero-spend idea? I mean, time is money, right?
You bring up a valid point, but here's the key. Integrate your community building efforts with other zero-spend tactics like, say, content marketing.
Content marketing. Create valuable content that your audience actually wants to consume.
Exactly. Blog posts, videos, webinars, you name it. By providing valuable information and addressing your audience's needs, you attract those high-quality leads. People who are genuinely interested in what you have to offer and who are more likely to convert and stick around for the long haul.
It's a long game then, not just a quick win.
You said it. And I think that's an important takeaway. Zero-spend lead generation often requires more patience and a different mindset compared to traditional paid advertising. It's about building authentic relationships and fostering trust over time.
All right, so let's bring it all home. If our listeners are going to walk away with one key message, what would it be?
I think it's this. Zero-spend lead generation can be incredibly powerful. But don't get caught up in the hype of free. Dig deeper. Analyze those conversion rates and the potential customer lifetime value.
Because a low cost per lead means nothing if those leads aren't converting into paying customers who stick around.
Exactly. So for everyone listening, here's the question to leave you with. How can you apply these metrics to your own zero-spend efforts? Are there unique strategies you could use to maximize both lead quality and customer lifetime value within your specific industry or niche?
That's a great question to ponder. And for everyone listening, keep learning, keep experimenting, and as always, happy growing.